everybody, Walk Talk 21, back again with you for another MLB time capsule. And today, we've officially hit the 19 teens, that's right, 1910 is upon us. So, as I traditionally do, in this corner, led by manager and owner of the great team, Connie Mack, representing the city of Philadelphia, soon to be Kansas City and Oakland, and featuring Hall of Famer Connie Mack and Eddie Rollins, the Philadelphia Athletics, yay! And in this corner, led by player manager, which were quite popular back then, Frank Chance, featuring Hall of Famer Mordecai Brown, representing the city of Chicago, again, the freaking Chicago Cubs, boo, boo. Alright, so 1910, William Howard Taft was president, Star Wars was far, far away, and the Chicago Cubs, wait for it, are not World Series champions. Ha! People, if you watched the last video, I told you that the Cubs wouldn't be winning for a long time, so if you think the Cubs are winning this time around, you're wrong. This World Series was very boring from what I can imagine, because Philadelphia won it in 5 games, because, I'm going to say this right now, Chicago, I don't care how good your pitching is. In this early World Series, all the early ones, hitting is what dominated. And if you want to see an example of that, wait till we get to the team that will dominate from the 20s onwards. You know what team I'm talking about, but they don't exist right now. That would be the Yankees, yeah. Anyway, Philadelphia came into this World Series wanting to avenge their loss back in 1905 to the New York Giants. However, this time they're not playing the Giants, they have to play the Chicago Cubs. And I'm guessing that the Cubs forgot who they were playing, because this is not the Ty Cobb-led Detroit Tigers. This is the Frank Chance, or no, this is the Athletics Cubs. It's not the Tigers. You know, you're not playing Ty Cobb, you're playing other people. There was a number of firsts in this series. Jimmy Archer became the first player to represent both the American League and National League. Jimmy Archer started Game 3 for, I believe it was Chicago, and he had started back in 1907. It started a game for the Chicago Cubs, so it's kind of funny. Jimmy Archer noticed how sucky the Cubs were, so he's like, I don't want to play for them in 07, and then he joined the Cubs, and he didn't win. So, Jimmy Archer, you tried, I'll give you credit, but you didn't win a World Series ring both times. This was the first World Series in which all the Athletics players got a hit in one game. Because again, hitting dominates so much of the early World Series, and I'm guessing that the Cubs just didn't know that you're supposed to hit the ball, not throw a ball and, you know, do all that. No, this is one World Series where this was the second greatest Cubs team, mind you, and they just could not hit. I mean, I don't know what happened to the first, 2 Cubs teams, because the 1907 and 1908 Chicago Cubs could hit and could pitch. This team, for whatever reason, won one game, Game 3. Other than that, they could not hit the ball to save their life. And I don't know what happened. Like what, did they just in 2 years just trade away all of their hitters and be like, we'll just win with a bunch of pitchers? I mean, Frank Chance, you're a nice guy, but come on. When did you think that pitching was a good idea and that's all you were going to use? Okay, Connie Mack is not the nicest guy I could imagine, because from what I read about him, he had a reputation of being a bit of a hothead sometimes. He would bench players that he didn't agree with. He would, argue with people, but, he had a team that could hit the ball. And if you watch those games, like Game 1, Philadelphia won, I think the score was 8-6. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it was close. Philadelphia just came out and they just lit up the board. And I'm sorry, but when you have hitting, you can dominate in so many ways. And also, this was back in the time. Now, mind you this, there was a pitcher in there called Eddie Coombs, and he pitched games 2 and 3 back-to-back. Now, in today's world, yeah, this is unheard of, because normally pitchers who do that, you'd be so fatigued it's unbelievable. But back then, you could get away with it, because games would typically last maybe an hour or 2 hours, and Eddie Coombs go out there, pitch, he'd come back the next day and do it again. So, I'm sorry, Chicago, but pitching only gets you so far. You didn't have any hitters. You know, maybe Ty Cobb and Honest Wagner would have done you guys some good, because Mordecai Brown, he was pitching, but he couldn't hit, and Frank Chancer was the manager. Gee, you know, for a manager, he certainly doesn't seem that bright. I mean, if he can't hit the ball, you know, his team must not have wanted to play for him anymore. So, Philadelphia finally gets the World Series. And also, too, even more history was made, because the Pirates won 1909, the Athletics won 1910, so Pennsylvania becomes the first state to have back-to-back World Series champions. Hooray for Pennsylvania. So, that was 1910. Now, 1911, Connie Mack's Attack Pack is back again, and there's a very familiar team that they're going to be playing. Oh, hey Giants, nice to see you guys again. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Where have you been hiding out? Have you been hiding out in New York? You must have got lost somewhere. That's right, folks. 1911. Rematch, 1905. The Athletics and the Giants. Will the Athletics win for a second time and claim their second World Series? And will the state of Pennsylvania get 3 in a row? Or will the Giants give New York a second consecutive World Series? You'll just have to find out and see in 1911. But this was 1910. Be sure to subscribe to Walk Talk 21 for more great videos. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you'd want to see. Thanks, y'all. Take care.